Hi, welcome to my new video on a new Singer sewing machine. This one is a Genie Singer. I'm just going to switch the camera around and show you more about what it looks like, and hope you enjoy the tutorial. So this is the Singer Genie sewing machine. As you can see, the body is a little scuffed up and dirty. I'm going to clean it up and show you what it looks like with the before and after. So this is a really cute machine. The model number is 353. And what I like about this machine, which is really cute, is that it actually has a storage component that just slides off, slides on, locks in place, comes down, and then slides off. In the storage component, it's got the extended arm, and it's got the feet. It's got the presser foot, hidden inside here. And all we had to do was just lift this off, so that way you can pull it out and get access to the parts. So these are the bobbins, and sometimes when you go thrifting, you can find a real gem. And I end up getting a bunch of these for $3. So it's really great. And it comes with some feet and some parts. I think I have some extra parts available for it as well. I don't think I'm going to keep this plastic thing. It looks kind of scratched up and dirty, so we'll just discard that. But I have more bobbins, which is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the foot. I was told the machine works, but as you can see, it needs a lot of attention. Cleaning wise. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the side off here. Oh, sorry. I already wiped down the top a little bit, and you can already see it's a little cleaner. That piece obviously dropped down nicely. What I'm going to be looking for is inside this area here to see what needs to be oiled. Now, I do want to take the top off, and it looks pretty simple to do. There's just a screw in the back here. Again, remember where you took the screws from to remember where to put them back. Oh, there must be screws on the top here, and I'll show you. Oh, they're not on the top, they're in the back. Right under the handle. Oh wow, it seems like to have to take a while to come out. Interesting. It's been there for ever. No, they're loose now. They're just being finicky to come out. This one's loose. Okay. This is not coming off as easy. That is not cool. Somebody is still attached somewhere. There he is. It's on the side here. Right here. The lighting's not great. Sorry, guys. Okay. Very important not to lose the screws. And there's another one. This is becoming a little tedious for us to get this guy off. Sometimes when the screwdriver has a magnet, it's sometimes a lot easier to get it off. Okay, so we'll keep those guys separate. And look, ta-da! It comes off. Finally. So as you can see, it is very dusty and dirty on top. And some of the components on top, which I'm just going to tilt this a little bit better, is starting to get a little rusty inside here. So what we're doing is we're cleaning all this and giving it an oil. So if you can see, there are sections inside where it turns. This is all, not the belt section, but all inside here is where I'm going to be adding oil and cleaning it up. And checking to make sure the belt is in good condition too. There's the nice motor. I want to give him a bit of a wipe down. My good old cleaner. So I'm not going to spend too much time cleaning it with you, but I will do it afterwards. For now, I just wanted to show you the areas which we're going to be putting oil. And this oil is really good. Sorry for being silent. There's not much to say about doing oiling, because that's all it does is just oil, oil, oil. I'm going to turn this guy around. Sorry about the camera. I'll show you in here, in this section here. There's a lot of spots there. Oh, where's my little... piece of... wanted to clean this off. All right, I'll have to deal with that. Oh, there it is. So I was looking for this guy because I just wanted to clean a little bit of the rust off. And as you can see, there's a lot of heavy dirt. And you just want to kind of clean off. So put some oil here, oil here. Oil on the connections. Any joints that turn is where you want to put a little bit of oil. There's another spot here. I'm not saturating it. It's like a drop, tiny drop, because it's so thick. Perfect. So I'll plug that in and let you hear what it sounds like. It's already sounding a little bit better. We don't want that zigzag, so we'll stitch it back to the straight stitch. Now I'm going to get at this guy under here, so I'm just going to pull this out. I'm going to shift the angle of the camera and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm showing you this section here, and you just need to lift this up and pull this away. And as you can see, a lot of dirt and gook under there. And I'm going to clean that all out. This is the stuff that damages the machine. Horrible, messy. You can use a brush, which is actually preferred. And as you can see, it's still making quite a mess. Hence why I don't always use it. I like to use my trusty Q-tip. So we're going to take this, and we're going to move that. We don't need to unscrew that feature. It should be able to just allow us to push the lever. To release the bobbin. But it looks like we might have to just a little bit. Okay, there we go. Now I can get the bobbin out. And as you can see, it's a very simple bobbin. Now I'm going to put oil on this because I want oil on there, but I don't want a lot of oil on there. As you can see, it's already pretty clean. Just wanted to kind of clean it off a little bit. Remember the other machine that I had a lot of dirt and gunk underneath here. Okay, perfect. You can just take a cotton cloth sometimes and just clean that out. Oh, you didn't see what I was doing, sorry. That's a better angle. A bit more oil on my Q-tips just to clean this off. Oh, somebody wants to come out. I'll have to get him after because he's underneath. And I like to clean the edges, oops, sorry, of this, because dust and dirt can build up. Cleaning these are also important. Sorry about the camera, guys. I like this angle, but I can't leave the camera, and I'm just starting out, so bear with me. Now that that's all cleaned, let's position this guy better. All right, sorry about the little drama there, but that's a lot better now. And then I'm going to clean under here. Okay, and then we'll put him back. Lift that up, and then it just locks in place. Oh, I forgot to put the bobbin in. Sorry, guys. And it does need a little bit of attention because it is a little dirty. Okay. All right. It just sits on top. It's like that. Take the screw, twist him back. Use the other screwdriver. Don't want to damage that screw. I'll just twist it myself. But you don't want to damage that screw. Now I can put him back because all the feet dog and debris is cleared away. I don't have anything there interfering. Which is good. Okay. And that is it. Now, I'm going to show you the bottom of the machine, and it looks like there are some parts that do need to come off in order to get at it, and it looks like these pieces here. I like to loosen one or two of them loosen them all first, just so you can get them off. Because if there's a problem, then unfortunately you're not getting them off. Oop, that looks like I got to buy that part for that. And that's exactly why it's important when you're doing maintenance on machines to go slow. I can probably order that on Amazon. Because the machine will not sit right if those parts are not there. And that's the bottom. And look, that's really messy in there. So I will be wiping that out. Just put this out of the way. And this is why, again, you check the bottom to make sure that there is nothing left messy. And that was actually what I was looking to get at under here, because there is some stuff built up. Look how messy that is. Like I said, you can use a brush to wipe it away, but I use the Q-tips to kind of grab it and pull it forward. Some people use compressed can air. I don't recommend that in case it gets the belt, because that can dry it out. Now obviously this is fine, and this is part of the belt, so I'm not really going to oil these, but there are joints like this one, and one here, and here, here. There's a couple of parts down here. As you can see, it's pretty clean otherwise, but the reason why you don't touch the belt is that if anything happens and it slips, your timing is done. So you don't want that. As you can see, oh, here's some more of this guy in here I don't want. By turning the handle, get a clear, better shot. Just going to move the camera closer. In here is what I'm talking about. I do want to put a little bit of oil. Oops, sorry. Here. Down here. That's it. So the bottom looks really good from what I see. Except for that part that crumbled, which is the stand. And again, not a big deal. I can easily get that from Amazon. I'm going to stand it up carefully. Lift up the lever. Power went off. There we go. There was a clicking noise earlier and I don't hear it anymore. See how simple something like that can be when you just take out that dirt and debris? Singer made a very strong, solid machine, as you can see. And this little guy, fun and colorful, just needs to be cleaned up. That's it. The dirt on the side here, I wiped that off earlier and you saw how dirty it was. And this is why when you're doing maintenance, it's also important to see what parts are wearing down so that you can get them to keep your machine for a long time. These machines, like I said, were built many years ago for the purpose of keeping them. And that's why a lot of people today love sewing machines, especially Singer. They've been reliable, and once you have one, it's very easy to hand it down to another sewer, you know, niece or nephew who wants to learn how to do simple projects. Very, very reliable devices. I'm going to show you a video on how to thread it shortly after I clean this up and put it back together again. And show you how to do the bobbin, because that's also very important. And then I'll get online and order that part for the bottom. I'm going to replace all four as it's better, because I don't know if these other ones here are going to eventually wear, because the one that I had unfortunately crumbled. So I like to keep a little Ziploc baggie handy for the type of machines that I'm working with. If I have parts I have to order and you don't want to lose them, so you just kind of keep them all together in the baggie. This one was for the machine parts. There's obviously a second piece that goes here, and then there's the different kind of feet. But thank you very much for joining me. I'm gonna again clean this entire machine up, wash her all down with special cleaner, get in all the little crevices, and then I will show you how to thread it, the basic stitches. As you can see that there's different positions, zigzag stitches, different widths, and the reverse button, which seems to be working. So I'll be back. Now that the machine is cleaned and oiled, as you can see, it looks great. I'm going to show you how to thread the machine. And yes, I just pulled that out because I got to show you how to do it. Putting the thread on the thread spool at the top. It doesn't matter if it goes left, right, really doesn't. It hooks here. I'm just going to twist this. Sorry. It goes under here, up, around. Sorry about the noise. I'm going to show you inside here. It has to go down and hook. As you can see that it clipped. Comes down here. See where it's hooked? Comes up, making sure this is up. These ones you have to thread through. Comes down, clips here. Just gonna move the camera down, move it in so you can see what I'm doing. So it hooks in here, and how you get in there is you just slide it through here, and that's it. And then there, once again, cutting our thread on an angle, which I don't have my scissors with me. And this is an example of why it's very important, because it's difficult. I need my scissors. you what I'm doing. Done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to thread a bobbin. And it's always good to go thrifting because you might be able to find a package full of bobbins that fits this machine. Now this thread is already on there. It's not quite exactly the same. It's a little bit bulkier. So I'll try those out. So you have to be careful because sometimes if it looks like it's going to fit, it actually doesn't fit. So I'll pass on those ones for now, but I will show you how to thread the bobbin. It is very easy to do. And yes, there's thread on here already, so you can still thread over the bobbin. Now this one has a tiny little hole, but because there's thread already on there, you don't need to take it off. Just going to reposition the camera. Again, it doesn't matter the direction of the thread, but it does go on this part here. Take it around the tension, around here. In this situation, if I was able to put the thread through the hole, I could, but it's already there. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to wind it around a couple of times. I'm hoping this is the right direction. Slide that over. Now, the machine is starting to sew. We don't want that. There is a dial on the side here. You must push this in. That's it. Push this guy in. When you're done, you push him out. That's what the symbol shows you there. Push him in. Once that's in and the thread is over, you can start threading the bobbin you want. Now that's enough for me for now. I'm just going to stop and then I'm going to show you what it looks like when I sew a piece of fabric. I repositioned the machine, so I am going to cut my thread, take off my bobbin, and it does matter how the bobbin goes in. Counterclockwise. Okay. There is a little slit right here that hooks underneath. Sorry. So I'm going to take the bobbin and place it in here, and it slides underneath the slit, and I hold it here. So you'd have to go clockwise when you're putting your thread in. Just gonna get my thread going here, because as you saw, I cut it earlier. And then I'll show you the basic stitch. Just having a bit of a moment here. Sorry, it's taking a while. Okay. All right. Thread my thread. Ooh, interesting. Got a knot. End of my thread. It's not good. Show you what I'm doing. Okay, and now that we have that done, the side handle has been flicked up in the proper position. And I want to pick up my thread. Oh, it didn't catch. It didn't catch. See, this is why you pay attention. It was going in the wrong way. It has to go counterclockwise. Okay, see? And then pull the thread away from you. Sorry about the camera. Just repositioning it to show you what it looks like when I sew. Now I have this on the middle, straight stitch, zigzag stitch, and I have this on a number 10 or number 8, doesn't matter. Put your presser foot down. Now the tension seems to be a little off on the bobbin. I'll have to check and see what's going on there. Might be too tight. Or the top might be too tight. Oh, yes. I did make a mistake. The thread was around the needle. So let's try that again. And this is what's really good, is when you're noticing something is unusual and you step back and you see what's happening. And that's stitching way better. Way better. And then when you do the zigzag, I still want to leave it in the middle, but I can choose the width. I still want to keep this one at the zigzag, and I can go up to a 12. It all depends. Come down, and I'll show you what it looks like. Something's going on and it's not catching to do the zigzag. It's only doing a straight stitch. Interesting. Do we have to go up? Position the needle. And we'll do a regular zigzag. Okay, let's go. So it looks like it was skipping every now and then. Let's put this on this one here. I'm going to match up the reds, and I've gone to 20 to see if this is going to make a difference. Sorry about the positioning. Okay. Okay, the thread broke. All right. So even though this has a zigzag stitch, I am going to let her go as a straight stitch because she doesn't like zigzag. And it is very, very important when you are sewing, you buy a very important project that you buy quality thread for this reason, because cheap thread breaks ridiculously easy. So the bottom thread, when I'm zigzagging, it's not picking up at all. Do I go to a number 4? Nope. Nope, it's not picking it up. All right, and we'll see if the reverse stitch works. Okay, awesome. All right, thank you very much for taking a few minutes to see the basic stitches. And sometimes when you get machines, even though it runs, it might actually have some technical issues. Sorry, I just wanted to clean that off. It might have some technical issues where she needs a little bit more TLC and actual servicing. But for now, this is a cute little machine. It's great for a starter, great for somebody who's beginning and doesn't want anything too fancy. Yeah, I really thought this was a cute machine. Not too impressed that the zigzag stitches and the timing is slightly off. I'll look into it, and if I see anything that could be of interest, I'll post it. If there isn't anything of interest, then we'll just leave it as it is. And the next owner will be able to enjoy this machine. So thanks again for seeing the before, what the state was, how easy it is to clean her up, give the machine a basic oil, and even look at my mistake where my thread was wrapped around my needle screw and caused issues with the way that the bottom thread was working. But glad to see it is a basic straight stitch machine for somebody who's a beginner. Thanks again, and hope to see you in the next video.